to Card Subject to Change. It's a brand new year. We apologize for the delay, but we are now back on track for the latest episode. I am joined, as always, by the All-Father, Darius, decked out in his tracksuit.
Yes.
I've got the Bayonne Badass, the King of the fucking North, and 30 other fucking nicknames he's got, and I am Shawn Donavan. And today, I capitalize after our last episode. I thought one thing we could probably really delve into that I think a lot of performers would benefit from is something that I believe I'm very good at, and I know the two of you are very good at. Storytelling. We don't see much of it on the indies, and I think a lot of that is because a lot of shows are spot shows, or there are promotions that are trying to get off the ground or that are already on the ground running, but they don't run consistently. And I think sometimes it's hard to follow stories, like we all know, if it's not consistent, right? If you're running a story on a show that you're running in February, but then you don't run again until like July, will those same fans be back? I think it's kind of hard to do that. But
filling that time.
My personal opinion, you've done work with Warriors of Wrestling, and Joey is very good at putting stories together. Myself and Maff have done work with WrestlePro and other places. Yes.
Put the bottle over.
Oh, shit. Sorry. It's a new year. I'm sorry.
Product placement.
You're fucking up your own show.
That's our show, not my show.
Yeah, it's our show.
Anyway, I'll take a step back here real quick. We are not sponsored, but here we are today with a little Jack Daniels. We're in the dead of winter, so we've got some Winter Jack spiced apple whiskey.
I'm curious.
Oh, you're gonna love it.
I know I'm gonna love it.
I've not let you down on every episode.
Wafted the glory. I'm gonna go ahead.
There you go. We got to get the reaction.
Oh goodness.
Yeah.
All right, twist my arm.
Every winter, I've got 3 bottles of these in my house. But,
well done.
But anyway, we've all done work with promotions that have done storytelling, and then we've all been a part of events that have tried to do storytelling, but has never gotten off the ground. But I am a firm believer that when you build stories on your shows with defined performers that can play those roles, fans will be invested if you're telling the story logically to get them in the building. I not being mean, we've all been a part of promotions where they have tried to do storylines, but in reality, you realize the story just doesn't make sense. And obviously, it comes from the top of who's running things. But I'll start with you, Darius. What are your thoughts about storytelling on the independents?
Storytelling is essential, and I really wish that everybody saw it as essential, or saw it for the essential piece of the pie that it is. I mean, doing this show-to-show thing, you're naming your shows. Why are you naming your show the name that it is? Okay, Seasons Beatings because it's December. I said, okay, so what are you going to name your January show?
Damn, just fucking say it to my face. That was shotgun. We call this Seasons Beatings, but my man.
Well, Seasons Beatings, listen, maybe you were the first in the group or in the area. I don't know. I don't mean to shoot. But
No, I'm doing that. But
it's the easiest, but it's right there. Yeah. It's right there is the point. It's like, okay, but then what do you name your January show? Let me not start naming them because then they're gonna be like, I named that one too. New Year's resolution.
Okay,
I got thick skin. I can take it. I can take it.
Why ain't I booked our Season Beatings?
Oh man, we're starting out hot today.
Okay.
All right. Oh man.
Well, I'll see myself out.
Yep.
Storytelling, important, critical, necessary, and underutilized. I mean, how do you have a match without a story behind it? That's my thing is, these matches will go 15, 20 minutes and there's no story, and I get bored. I get tired because I get drained because it's what am I watching for? I'm watching you guys do these moves. Well, where's the payoff? What is the culmination? Why does it matter if this person wins? Why does it matter if this person wins?
Right.
What is each person's story, and how does victory or loss affect that match? That's how I always am looking at a card, and I wish more people did that. Sometimes I feel like it's like, it doesn't really matter who wins. And it's like, but it's all advancing something.
Yeah.
It's all trying to get to the top of the ladder, and then once you get there, you boom, and then you go and you do it again.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes people are losing the concept of it. It's not just okay. You do your great matches, but you have to keep leveling yourself up.
Mm-hmm.
That's the issue you get stuck in. Great matches, great matches, great matches. Well, how much better are your matches going to keep getting? You're booking the best people in the area. You don't really have a story. You're like, well, I don't know if I'm going to have them month to month anyway because they're here or there. So you're just grabbing people, having great matches, great match central.
It's cold.
But yeah, and you're just how do you build off that?
Yeah.
Eventually, someone's going to be gone. Another person's going to be gone. You're not going to have the people you want to use. Now you can't have that show that you want to have because all those people aren't available. Versus if you have a story, you have something that, hey, look, I can go to this show and expect this. I know that these two guys are feuding. They can wrestle two different people, but I know their story is connected because they continue to interact with each other.
Correct.
The little things are so important, man.
Yeah.
Storytelling. If we aren't looking at this like, you don't have to be a comic book guy, but if you're not looking at it like a comic or like a storyboard, like
You got to know what's happening when you turn the page.
absolutely, and you got to know when to turn the
Right.
page. You got to know what to put on the page.
Yeah.
But that's how you should look at it.
Yeah.
This isn't just let's wrestle, see you out there, and
Yeah.
what does it mean?
Yeah.
Why are you there?
Well, the same thing with you, Maff, in that same sense, right? You and I have these conversations all the time when you tell me, hey, I'm booked in this place, but then it's like, what's the payoff? What's the story to the match? That's what you and I always talk about. Like, where does this match lead to? And then sometimes you get frustrated because the story is supposed to lead to this, but then the next show doesn't happen until 4 months later, and the story's completely out the window, and now you're working somebody else that has no ties to the story. Mm-hmm. You know, I know you're very big on storytelling with matches and making sure that there is a story built in there somewhere. I mean, you know, what's your take on what you've been through in the indies with storytelling, especially leading up to where you are now in your career?
Well, first I want to start by saying, Darius, you look incredible.
Thank you.
Tracksuit.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
It's like a
Thank you.
throwback to Welcome Back, Carter.
Yeah. Well, thank you.
One of the
Thank
basketball
you.
players in the shadow.
Listen,
you're my man, brother.
Hey,
You
styling
rocking
and
that blue
profiling.
like it's nobody's business,
Styling
baby.
and profiling. I'm letting everybody know you can't imitate it. So
You're often imitated,
Never duplicated. That's right.
Be in the middle for that.
That's
Be
right.
in the middle for
That's
that.
right.
You
We're
can't replicate
putting over the
that.
tracksuit
This
today.
is brother. Listen.
We're putting over the tracksuit.
Listen, it's the new year. Got to kick it off right.
That's it.
That's right.
Yeah.
All of us, man, we are studs.
Yes, we are.
We are studs, and not just physical studs, okay? But we're talking about mentally, and you can be a stud too if you get with it. If you care about the sport, if you love the profession, you commit yourself to it, you can be a stud.
We're traveled, we're grizzled, we're mentally ready. We've been through it all. We've survived. We've navigated through the rough waters of time.
And we still want more.
Oh my goodness!
Still want
the boat
more.
just rocking.
Yep.
Whoever's at the helm is fumbling. We have to jump and grab the wheel.
That's it.
Storytelling.
Yeah, storytelling. Yeah.
please.
It's essential.
Yeah.
I'm all about storytelling, man. That's the hill I die on. Storytelling. It's also very frustrating.
Yeah.
In the world of the independents, that's what this show is really based on, right? It's how to make independent wrestling better.
Yeah.
Right? Speaking to the youth, right? Speaking to the current crop
Yes.
of indie guys, right?
Yes.
So
yes.
storytelling is essential. I like to say that I'm like the poster child, for storytelling. But it also takes patience, and that's something that a lot of promoters don't have.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
Yeah, that's
Okay,
so true. That's
because
very
you
true.
can't go to a promoter if you haven't invested a lot of skin in the game, and you don't have that trust with the promoter to say, okay, hey man, let's tell a story. Because sometimes the promoters, and I've had this conversation this week with a couple of indie talents that I keep in touch with, and I try to help out. Independent promoters, I like to think of them as a person who collects rare animals, or a circus owner, right?
Yeah.
Or someone who has a circus. You don't know what they're looking for. You don't know what they like.
Right.
But you have to attract them. You have to appease them somehow, or they have to find something in you to say, ding, 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 I want that guy. You know, so, and a show is also like a buffet table. I've said that it's got to have a little something on it for everybody.
Correct, yeah.
I think every show should have at least, I would say, and it's hard to do unless you have a consistent promoter with a consistent roster of guys. Every show should have at least, at the very least, three stories to go with and one solid story to close your show on.
It's in the background.
Yeah.
It's keeping everything afloat.
You know, and it's difficult because a lot of promoters don't have patience to tell a story for a year.
Right.
To tell us, they want to take you through a year of storytelling. They want to take you through it in 2 shows.
Right.
Or
Hot-shotting it, yeah.
Or a show.
Yeah.
You hit
Okay.
put your foot on the gas and you go.
You know, so I'm a firm believer in, hey, man, let's first think of the payoff. What's the payoff? What's the end all be all, man? Where do we want to end? What's the end result? What's the end goal? You know, do you have your heel going over? Do you have the baby going over? Do you have a baby that you want to get over? Or do you want to escalate this story? How long do you want to escalate this story? Okay.
Where do you see things going?
Yeah.
Right.
You
You
know,
find out where the end of the yellow brick road is, and you work backwards.
Is this a blood feud?
Right.
Is this a personal feud?
Is this a feud about respect? Is it all
is
these
this a
different
feud
what's on
about
the
respect?
line?
Yeah.
And where are these
where
two
are the
guys?
stakes?
Where are they going to end up at the end of this feud?
Yeah.
Because you have to have a plan for an end game for the guy going up, the guy going under, or the two guys involved. Period. You know, it takes patience, but I think that the beauty of storytelling is biblical.
Yeah.
It's like the Bible.
Yeah.
It's good versus evil.
Correct.
It's been
Tried and true.
it's been tried from the beginning of time.
That's what our industry has always been predicated
That's
on.
the foundation and the beauty of our business. It's good versus evil. And I believe that if you have a good-looking young baby face, just speaking out the side of my face, right? A good-looking young baby face that the girls like, the fans like, everybody says, "Oh man, I want to go watch this guy."
I'm
He is
interested
great.
in their next move.
Maybe he's an athletic, fast guy who does a ton of awesome things. Okay, and then you have, all right, this is the guy. This heel is the guy who he's your heater. He's your straight heater, man. He's your dominant heel. You know, and you have to have the two. But I'm also a firm believer that heels draw money.
Yes.
Okay.
Sure do.
Because you can't have a strong baby face if you don't have a dominant heel.
Yep.
You have to have a heel that knows what he's doing. You have to have a heel that's dominant. And you have to have an assertive heel that is not afraid to get heat.
Oh,
and
please,
when I mean heat,
please.
Way.
and when I
In the
mean
right
heat,
way, baby.
when I mean heat, I mean fucking nuclear fucking heat, man. Like where you are on the brink, where the rest of the locker room is on edge, saying, "Yo, we have to watch out. We gotta stay alert because shit could pop off at any second." Okay.
Gotta have the promoters
Yep.
back sweating.
Yep.
Yeah.
Sweating.
Yep.
Yeah, you know, shit could pop off at any second with this guy because Maff is fucking antagonizing this crowd.
Yep.
He's not fucking playing,
Yep.
and he's really pissing these people off. But that's the heat that you want.
And you and I have talked
There's
about
a lot
this
of guys
too.
that are afraid to get that heat.
Honestly, and
Most.
I know the three of us are in this room are not afraid to get real heat. I think the biggest issue one of the biggest issues when it comes to storytelling and capping off with you, I would venture to say, and this is my personal opinion, 90% of heels in wrestling today are afraid of real heat because they don't know how to handle real heat.
Right.
They've never been put in that position to get it, but they also aren't putting themselves in that position to take that extra step, push that envelope to the limit of what your persona is, and make sure that when you leave that ring, that there are fans ready to jump the guardrail at any moment. I've said it to you. I've said it to you. I would be partly pissed off and partly happy if I left a show and all 4 of my tires were slashed. That means I know I did my job.
Right.
It sucks. I got to pay for all that, but at least I know I pissed off somebody that much that they needed to find my car and they needed to either bash my window in, spray paint my car, or put holes in my tires, and it leads me to
back.
that. Yeah, and it leads me right to
TP.
and I've heard the story from Sergeant Slaughter, right? The WrestleMania 7 angle with Hogan during the whole Iraqi war. His family's getting death threats. His limo was trashed and destroyed and like graffitied up, tires slashed, you name it.
Ask him if he'd do it again.
He would absolutely do it again, right?
Drones. And
Yeah.
He would say, absolutely.
Yeah. And when you look at it, so that's one thing to me. I think another thing that hurts, right, and you talked about it a little, is promoters. If you have a building that you're going to run in consistently month over month, and you know you've booked your dates out for an entire year, figure out what those stories are that you want for that calendar year, and then go to those talents and make sure they are available for every single one of those dates, and then get with those talents, figure out what the end game of those stories are, and work backwards. But one other thing that I have fallen into that I enjoy, I think a lot of times promoters think they know the characters that the performer is portraying, when in reality, the only person that really knows that persona is the person themselves.
Yeah, so you have to communicate.
Not just communicate, where is the collaboration, right?
course.
There should always be collaboration with the talent. Hey, I'm thinking of this story. This is what I'd like to do. What would your persona do in all of this? What do you think of the story? How can we enhance it and make it better, right? Because you might be thinking of an idea that I am not, because I don't know what your character would do, right? We've all said it in previous episodes, right? If you know who you are, well, I know who Darius Carter is, the wrestler, but what is Darius Carter, the wrestler, outside of the ring? How does he go food shopping? Where does he go food shopping? How does he work out? How does he sleep? How does he make his dinner?
Let me interrupt you.
Yeah, go for it.
While it's hot in my head.
Please go for it.
And the CTE fucks everything up. There's levels.
Yes.
To this shit.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I know that the three of us, it almost sounds like we're always pulling for the fucking left. We're always going for the heel. It's always the heel, the heel. But you know what, man? I'll say it again. I will say it until I die. The heels draw the money.
To a point where the babyface just has to walk through the curtain, and that's all they got to do.
But there's levels to this shit.
Yep.
Okay. Number one. Hey, I'm talking to all you young fucks.
Here we go.
Listen, guys. Preaching. I'm gonna preach. Okay? You get to a show. You don't fucking say hello to the fans. Find a back fucking door. Find a back door.
Hugging him. Hugging him.
Find a back door. Park in a parking lot.
3 blocks away.
Yes. Find a back door. Oh, hey, Maff, can I get your autograph? No, fuck off. Leave me alone.
Yeah, Sure, give me your pen. I take your pen
We've
and
done-
I
yes.
throw
Way
it.
I roll.
Absolutely, yes, because we've
Darius,
done it.
you
Yep.
never get the shows early, so you don't have to worry about it.
All the fans are in the building, so he's got a
the
clear
fans are in-
line from the
fans
car
are
to
in
the
the fucking building already. But hey,
Hey, where's Darius?
Fuck,
We got to
man.
go over things. He's not here yet.
Go over what? Go over what? Don't get me started.
Listen.
You better leave me alone.
but hey, man, you find a fucking back door. Okay. Another thing,
That was great.
fans.
That was great.
Fans hit you up on social media. Listen, somebody made a post the other day about mental awareness
Yeah.
and how men go through things, and
Yep.
I reached out to I responded on that, and a fan right away said, "Hey, brother, I'm with you. You're never alone." I said,
Brother.
Whoa, I said,
Hey,
"Oh my."
brother.
I said, "You're not my fucking brother," and I'm not alone. I don't know if you saw it.
Yeah, I did.
I
I
was
did.
seeing
I
you at any
did.
cookout.
I said, I ain't your fucking brother.
Reunion.
Yep.
And wait, I'm not alone. How about you can pay some of my fucking bills?
Yeah. The assumed closeness.
Yes.
There is an assumed
Right.
closeness,
Yeah, man.
but that's because
Bro,
some wrestlers let them in like
You
that.
don't
man.
fucking
Right.
sign 8x10s. You don't sit there and pose and take pictures with fans. Don't sell merch. Do not go out there and fucking sell merch. I'm gonna have gas money. Bro, get your shit together. Get a real job. Okay? Get a real job. Okay? Dude, wrestling, nobody's gonna get rich on the indies. Okay? No one's gonna get rich on the indies. That's just how you'll make some money. Some guys make more money than others. But hey, man, like, enough of this fucking, I'm the heel that everybody loves. No, fuck that, dude. Either you're a real fucking heel, you have fucking heat where people want to fucking, old ladies are fucking trying to hit you. When you're fucking a little too close to the guardrail, you feel people hitting you. I feel people hitting me.
Yeah.
And I fucking love it.
Yeah.
Okay?
Shoot.
Fucking
Slap
sign.
me in the
Don't bring a
face.
fucking
What the
sign
heck?
for me. You bring me a fucking sign, I'm gonna rip it up on your ass. Don't fucking bring me don't make a sign or whatever for whatever. I'm ripping that shit up.
Yeah.
Because you know what? My heat is priceless.
Right.
I bank everything on my heat. Okay, because the heat is what makes me special. It's what separates me from a lot of the other guys in that locker room. And when I'm together with this guy, we are nuclear. This guy walking in by himself, he is a fucking walking, ticking time bomb. He has heat with the bottom rope when he's out there. Okay, but this is why. This is why we are different.
Yes.
And
Okay, I'm 33 years old. You know what I'm saying? And I still get my heat. I've been doing this for a while.
well, I got to break out my calculator over here. What the hell?
That was a doozy.
Yeah.
We had to sell that
Multiply
one, though.
that by 3.
Yeah, you just got nod your head and you said,
I'm not a
Listen,
math
but-
major
but-
here,
but-
but
but-
something
but-
seems off on that number.
But there's levels to
of
He said
course,
you took the
yeah.
storytelling.
man.
crazy.
You need a heel.
Yeah.
You need a real heel.
Yes, I agree.
Okay, you need a real heel, man, to generate real heat and not be afraid of that shit.
So
And let me say something real
go
quick,
for
too,
it,
here.
please.
What I've noticed is people using villainy as like a avenue. So, and when I say that, you become a bad guy. You like it a little bit. You like getting some booze, whatever. Just you really become a bad guy because you want to do whatever you want to do, right? That's why people like to be heels. Oh, because I could do what I want to do out there. Now I don't have to worry about making, pop and crowd, whatever. Okay, you do that. And then you start getting some cheers. You hear some people kind of cheer for you or like you. Then you start selling some merch as the heel. And now guess what? You're a babyface again.
Mm-hmm.
People will turn or try to turn heel or play antagonist, as I like to say. I like to say protagonist, antagonist. So they'll like to play the antagonist just to add some intrigue to their character, add some interest to their character. And once they start to get their, sell a couple merchandising items, once you got a few shirt sales, maybe you get a hat. Oh yeah, I'm gonna go baby again.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go protagonist again. You cheat villainy
Yeah.
because you use it to give yourself another level of personality, and then you say, "Well, let me go right back."
Yep.
You know what I'm talking?
Yeah,
That type villainy doesn't have to be an avenue. Villainy can be a way of life.
Yes.
Antagonism can be a way, because we've all dealt with antagonists in everyday life. It's like, as we said, it's biblical. It's biblical. We are painting a story.
Right.
Okay, you watch Spider-Man, the cartoon. You want to watch Spider-Man fight a particular villain for a particular reason, because villains represent different things.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's storytelling.
So I'll go off what you say, right? To me, when you explain that, that is the difference of somebody who wants to play the bad guy versus actually being a heel. There are two different sides to that coin, and I take it to what you said too, right? And I'm sure that people will disagree with me, and that's okay, because everything is all ice cream, is different flavors. It's my philosophy. It may not be yours. I was raised in this industry that heels do not sell merchandise. Now, am I going to take a little bit of a hit in the wallet when it comes to the rate on the shows? Sure. That's the sacrifice I am going to make in order to make sure that the individual that I am working with gets the ultimate cheer. Because to me, sure, I can go with my merch bin as a heel or whatever, and I can get booked on the show. And hey, yeah, I sold 2 T-shirts. I made $50 plus on top of what I got made. Mm-hmm. Here's my question to that heel. Are you being brought back next time?
Right.
There's no guarantee you may be brought back. But if I do my job the right way, and I am showing that promoter that says, I have never had a heel on a show that got heat like that, I need him on every show. Well, guess what? I just secured myself multiple bookings over the course of a year, which may end up making me more money than it would because I sold 2 T-shirts with no guarantee of being booked on the next show. That is my philosophy. I believe in that wholeheartedly, the same way Danny does. You do not go out during intermission. You are never seen before the show, and you shouldn't even be seen after the show.
You see, when your music hits, when you walk out the curtain, when you walk back through the curtain. That's the only time you're seeing me. I don't want to see you in the parking lot. I don't want you to beep at me. I don't want to beep at you. I don't want to do this. I don't want to do this. I don't want to do anything. I don't want to.
Heels,
you to boo me.
Heels don't do cool shit.
Nope.
Right? They don't do anything flashy. Heels are supposed to do one thing: be the most unlikable human being in front of that crowd, and be able to do it better than the next guy, because that next guy needs to say, holy shit, how do I follow that? So now that person has to think, how do I top that? And now you have a group of heels on your show with different personas and personalities that a promoter can say, here's a blank piece of fucking paper. I've got 12 shows once a month. Here are my 3 stories, like you said. I'm going to start backwards. I'm going to work to the beginning, and I'm going to collaborate with those talents, because I know those talents are going to do their job correctly. I don't have to worry about Maff going out and trying to sell T-shirts and confusing the fans that he's hugging and taking pictures with fans, but then he's getting in the ring and he's calling you a piece of shit. Right? It's all those different avenues, right?
Swinging.
I feel like a zoo exhibit when I'm out there at a table.
Exactly, yeah. And it feels uncomfortable, right? When you know who you are, it's not comfortable to be in that environment. And if you do feel comfortable in that environment, to me, you are not a true villain. You are not taking your craft seriously. And again, that's my philosophy. But I've been a heel for probably 85 to 90% of my career. Why am I still doing this after 20 years? Why is he still doing this after almost 30 years? It's because we know what we're doing to get those bookings to stay consistent and stay relevant, and not be the guy trying to play the bad guy who wrestles once every 3 months, but will then tell everybody he's such a hardcore heel. Bullshit.
Right.
I mean,
and telling the stories too.
Yeah, and that's where it comes down to telling the stories, right? You know it.
Yeah, it's come on, guys. What does it all mean? Why are you okay? I'm a antagonist. I'm a protagonist, but why?
Right.
What is the why? And the why is not because you make money selling T-shirts. The why is not because you look good and you're photogenic and you have a lot of followers on Instagram. That's not your why. Why? Why are you someone that people should love? Why are you someone that people should care about? And why am I a threat to that, being the antagonist? Why do I want to take that down? Why do I want to rip that away? That understanding is how you make your entrances, and before the bell even rings, you have the fans chanting, "This is awesome," or you have the fans chanting, just for your protagonist, for your baby face.
Or the moment that first 2 seconds of that note hits on that music and they're already booing.
Right, before you've even touched. Yes, it's
They ready to boo your ass.
Yes.
They ready to get up and elevate their hate.
And yes, it's
because
because
they
you're
hate
talented.
that you coming out nice.
Talk about
But
it.
they came to see you get your ass kicked.
Yeah, and yes, we know they're talented. Yes, we know that they're both good wrestlers. But the story of why they're wrestling here at this promotion, not somewhere else. They're wrestling here at this place. It means more here because of the history that they've created. Wow, 3 months ago, he cost him a match. And then 2 months ago, these guys had a tag match and things went awry. And then last month, they just tried to have some type of contract signing, because you can't have segments on the indies, by the way. They had a contract signing, and oh my goodness, and there was a fight, and everything broke out, and security came out. Man, listen, I hope you didn't miss any of those shows. Those were 4 shows where these guys
That's
were.
right.
Wow. Now they built to their first one-on-one match after 5 shows. ECWA, me and this person, LA Vin, we haven't had one single match. We were voted Feud of the Year. How does that happen? Storytelling. Because we've been in each other's space. We've been in each other's faces. We know what I'm trying to accomplish as the ECWA champion. We know what he's trying to accomplish as the American-made firefighter turned wrestler. We've all seen that. What is the story? What's making people say, wow, I got to not just like the video and let me watch the whole thing through. Wow, I'm replaying it? Wow, like that was good.
So can I pose a question to both of you? Because this is how I view myself. When you say, what is the story? What are you fighting for? You cannot know what you're fighting for if you don't know who you are.
Period.
So I ask you both this question,
Well
right?
said.
And to me, I look at this from a heel. When I say, who is Shawn Donavan? Who is Darius Carter? Who is Danny Maff? The question that first comes up is, what is Darius Carter's mission statement? What is Danny Maff's mission statement? What is Shawn Donovan's mission statement? That mission statement translates into what we've talked about in one episode called an elevator pitch. Can you describe who you are in 30 seconds or less in a very simplistic way that makes the promoter understand who you are? If you know what your mission statement is, then you now know what you are doing. My mission statement is very simple in my name. I am trying to bring the honor and the tradition of pro wrestling back to the way it used to be, where it was respected. None of the bullshit with the kids today, none of this, none of that. Professionalism. I am trying to bring that back. That is who Shawn Donavan is. That's why old school is the name. I'm doing that for the tradition of the Nick Bockwinkel's, the Bruiser Brodies, the Stan Hansens, the Ric Flairs. That's who Shawn Donavan is. I don't like these young kids who think their whole match should just be nothing but fucking flips and dives. So my mission statement is, try that in the match and watch me figure out a way around it to beat the shit out of you. And make sure that those fans have had enough of me beating the shit out of him until I slip on a banana peel, and now that baby face gets to make that fiery comeback, and all the things I took away from him is what he's going to do to me now, and now I'm the one in peril and the fans are here. It's no different from you, but your philosophy as who Darius Carter is different. Your philosophy as Danny Maff is different. If I know what my mission statement is and I know who my dance partner is, okay, let's figure out this story. We've all been able to do long-term storytelling with people that were not meant to be long-term.
Right.
For myself, my match with CPA in 2022 was meant to be a one-off match. And he and I went the route of, let's do something and see if it makes sense and present it. And we did. We took a simple Royal Rumble spot and turned it into a year-long feud and built it to a culmination of a barbed wire match. You've done year-long stories. You've done that. But it takes the individuals themselves to take it upon themselves and create. I want you guys to go in that direction. Follow me with the last thing I'm going to say is, we know a lot of shows are called matches. Cut a promo on your opponent. Hopefully your opponent cuts a promo back on you. Well, now you've built a mini story here. Now you have the match. Tell them story in the match behind those promos. And then hopefully, if the promoter understands what is happening in that match and they hear the fans reacting, let's bring it back the next month. What do we do different? Hey, maybe that cold match now turned into a 6-month feud. What were your take on some of those things? Agree, disagree, or
you got to create your own avenue. I think one thing so here's one thing I will say, because we talked a lot about promoters, right? One thing I will say is it's also on the performer, on the wrestler, to not just sit around and wait for something to happen. Just because, and I saw, was it Luke Hawks who posted needing a wrestler to, retweet your own show. You're on the poster. You can't even advertise it. So it's a two-way street. So
yes,
just like promoters have proven to be, especially in today's day and age, unfortunately, proven to be a little more short-sighted, a little less on the storytelling because they're afraid, to stick to that. And it's easier to just do the great match formula, right? The GMF, if you will, is what they're all doing. It's a great match formula. Just have big matches and it'll work itself out. You know what I mean? But if you commit yourself to the craft of it, if you commit yourself to moving this forward and to getting us to the next point, right, as a profession, how do you do that? You come in with an idea of what I want to accomplish, what you want to accomplish together, and how do we get that to the next point? You have to come up with something for yourself and don't just wait for someone to do it for you. If I see, okay, I'm Darius Carter, right? I'm not a champion in your promotion. It's my first time coming into your place, right? Let's say I'm coming to Fight Pro or what have you. First thing I want to do, personally, is assess who your champions are. Who are your champions? Singles, middle, tag, women's, whatever it is. Let me see who your champions are. Okay. What is my mission statement? If I want the heavyweight championship, why would I want the heavyweight championship at this particular place?
And at that particular point in time.
Right. Why do I want it here and now? Who's the champion? Maybe, that guy, I wrestled him in another place. I beat him in another place. But here, okay, never beaten you here. You're the same alignment. You're a protagonist here just as you were there. That was another state. Let me tell people about that. Maybe I should come for you and let me say, hey, I'll come. My first match, I can pluck the champion right off because I beat you over here. Maybe I don't need to mention the place's name, but I could say I've beaten you before. I'm familiar with you. So now you have a story, and that champion can say, hey, listen, this is my home turf, though. This is a different time. I'm not the same person now that I was then. But listen, that was the only time we've ever met. And if I could beat you then, I could beat. So now we have a little bit of banter. Everybody's succeeding from that. The point is what is your story? Are you assessing your environment? You might say, oh, man, I don't have a story because the promoter didn't give me one.
Create one.
So then make one. So sit there and figure it out. Why am I wrestling this guy? This guy, he's a brawler and he's been attacking people. Maybe you watch his previous matches. He's been attacking a few people after the match. So maybe, I'm on to you. Maybe you try to jump me in the beginning and I turn it around and, what the heck? Yeah, because I watched you jump people after the match or before the match. I've seen what you do. I'm not coming into your promotion ignorant. I'm not coming in not knowing any better. Create a story, create an idea, create a premise, and then that promoter may say, wow, I didn't expect that, which may sound crazy because you may think a promoter's expecting the best. They don't know what. Sometimes they're booking the match and they're not expecting your match to be the biggest match or to get a bigger reaction.
Right.
They're just kind of using you to fill that spot.
But the promoter has to now keep that ear open and say, wait a minute, what?
They did that?
Huh?
I didn't even give them anything.
Wait a minute, I'm talking to this guy and I hear the people going nuts and they haven't the entrance music just stopped.
Right.
I need to go to the curtain. What is going on here? Holy shit, I have a gem. And what do 90% of promoters do? They don't follow up.
Listening.
They're not listening and not following up. You and I have seen it on shows, right? I mean, but to your point of what I said and what Darius said, I mean, what are your thoughts on that same thing, right? Knowing your environment, right? You have had battles with multiple performers through many different promotions where the story is easy to tell.
Right.
How do I put this without?
Just fucking say it.
You know what, man?
Just
I'm not
say
curbing
it,
my
man.
fucking
I don't,
mouth,
you know.
man.
Look, we're not naming
Listen,
names here, but
we're
it's,
not
we
naming
gotta
names, right?
know that there is a generalized percentage in the industry. So you know what I mean?
A lot. There's a lot of different promoters, man. Some promoters are heavy on storylines and angles. Some promoters pay attention.
Yeah.
Okay, some
They are out
promoters have their fingers on the pulse of what's happening. Some
see you
some
out there,
promoters
the ones that are out
know their crowd. Okay, because man, a good promoter knows its crowd and knows what's gonna tick it off and what's gonna what they're not gonna react to, what's gonna really piss them off. You know what they're gonna love and what they're gonna hate. Other promoters, man, you know what I mean? You could talk to them till they're blue in the face. They see a fucking squirrel fucking running up a fucking tree. There goes the fucking idea with the fucking squirrel.
They're running up the
Forgot
tree.
about everything and just fucking told
Exactly. Yes.
Oh, man.
Other fucking promoters, you know, other promoters, man, there's two fucking guys out there killing it. Incredible. The main event is on. This guy's getting heat. It's fucking nuclear, man. It's crazy. And they're just counting money because it's, you know, because that's all they're.
Get help, promoters. Please get help. Please get help. I've seen promoters. I've seen singular people, a singular person run a promotion. No real help. Okay, you have a couple photo people here, a couple video. You don't have anybody that can help patrol the locker room, make sure this is in order. You're doing it all by yourself. And listen, I get it.
Same finishes, same starts, same body parts.
And I get it. It's hard to trust people. I trust, believe me. All right. Archetypes of not just trusting everybody. I get it. But you have to do it all by yourself. I've seen some good men, some good promoters, women promoters, do it by themselves. And they falter, not because they're not particularly good.
They're
or
too
because
overwhelmed.
capable.
They have so much to worry about.
Overwhelmed.
Yes.
And now you put it on a wrestler in the locker room to patrol, and that wrestler may have biases, and you don't know how everyone feels about that wrestler, so it's hard to put somebody in that position.
Well, some locker rooms have to have good veterans.
Well, that's why you book them.
Every locker room needs those veterans that you can trust. And I'll
That's
throw
why
in
you
a
book
Promoter needs to trust.
And I'll give one example, right?
Book 'em and pay 'em.
And I'm saying this with all due respect. I'm going to drop names here, but it's in a positive, right? Look at We Are Wrestling, right? Pete Rosado. He relies heavily on two different individuals that he trusts to help run his locker room, to help make sure that the storylines that he has put together are getting across and giving the outlines, right? I think a big thing that is also missing from shows that help with storylines, having a meeting before the show and going over each match and setting the expectation of what you are looking for out of that match. Because when you watch that back, if those two performers did the exact opposite, chances are I may not want to take a second chance on you because you didn't listen to me the first time. If I know what I'm doing, I'm going to put you in that position to succeed. It's up to you to make it happen or come to me with an idea better than what I put together that makes sense. It's a collaborative effort from everybody. That's what we're talking about here. And that's how, to me, storylines work, because you've seen it when I've worked with certain talents and I have ideas for them. Hey, what do you think does this work for you? And they've said, yeah, but what if we did it this way? And I'm like, oh, yeah, I haven't thought of that. That's a great idea because that's what you would do. Hey, okay, let's do it that way. Right. And then let's listen to the crowd. They're biting on it. Beautiful. Now we know where we're going the next month.
Right.
And that's where you continue to build, but you also have to know as a promoter too, how do you keep the fans surprised at all times? The one thing I always have leaned on, especially in the last number of years, it's a viral clip that's been out there for a long time. It was a promo segment with Triple H and with Seth Rollins, right? And he used the phrase, If you're not making enemies, you're not making money. And to a degree, you're not trying to piss off the people in your locker room, but
you're going to naturally piss them off because you're in that spot.
But that's the thing, though, right? We're all there, right? It's a collaborative effort, but it's your job to get your segment over. If the segment in front of you, if the segment behind you didn't do their job and now you go out there and you do yours even better, that match after you has to step it up. If they don't and they don't get the same reaction, sure, they may not like you, but at the end of the day, it's not that person's fault or that match's fault. It's your fault and your dance partner's fault because you didn't put the effort in to deliver. To me, everything builds to a main event. And look, at the end of the day, if you're working a storyline and you just happen to piss off people in that same locker room, oh well. Right. And I don't mean that negatively because I love being a peer in that locker room and getting along with everybody, but we all know you're not going to get along with 100% of any locker room. And
especially the higher up on the card you are.
Right. And if they're hating on you or they're hating on you or they're hating on me, it's probably for one reason. They know they can't do what we do because deep down they know they're not putting in the effort that a Darius Carter and a Danny Maff and a Shawn Donavan is doing. So, hey, hate on me all you want. That's not my problem. You have two choices, either step up or step off.
And it's crazy, too, because the ones that you always think, you may think that it's like that, but we're trying to help you. At the same token, you come and you ask us questions, you come and you talk to us. We are giving you advice to better you. We're not brushing you off. We're not pushing you aside and saying, hey, man, not today. We're saying, oh, here's what it is. The people that come over to me, hey, can you watch my match? I watch your match. I give you the critiques. But are you hearing it? Is it going in one ear out the other? Or is it swimming around in your mind? And it's got to get up there until it finally hits the ground. But please, 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 please. This is to all the younger talent, all the up-and-coming talent, right? This is to even people that may feel like they're in a rut, okay, and they're just trying to get to the next point. Please assess your environment. Ask yourself why. It's the greatest question. Why? Why am I doing this? Why is Darius Carter here? Why is this person challenging me? Why am I at this promotion? Just ask yourself why, and you'll come up with your own stuff, and it'll be fun, and wrestling will be fun for you, and maybe it's not going to be a chore for you. Maybe it's not going to be, you won't feel as entitled to wrestling anymore because you are doing artistic work with your character. You are creating something that no one else has ever made. No one can be you better than you.
Correct.
So stop being afraid of being you. Stop emulating somebody else. Stop being a caricature of somebody else. Well, my favorite wrestler was Shawn Michaels, so I'm going to be like Shawn Michaels. But guess what? You can't be like Shawn Michaels.
Just focus on being the best you.
That you can, and you can emulate certain things that he does. We all, listen,
take a little bit from
that.
this one, that one, and that one.
We all do that. You think I'm not taking the bits from Ric Flair and bits from Bockwinkel and bits from Fit Finley and bits from William Regal and bits from Randy Orton and bits from Triple H and bits from... This is what that's passionate, but it's all about where you put it. It's all about placement.
It's also the ability to be patient.
Yes.
Don't go out there and work for your fucking clicks.
Oh my goodness.
On Instagram.
Right.
Or your clicks on Twitter, on X.
Oh my god.
You should be furthering your stories with moments from your matches that says to that local fan, holy shit, I missed that show. I need to go to the next one because I can't believe he just did that to him. I need to see the comeuppance.
Yep.
And where does that come from? It comes from learning from the people that are better than you. And you and I have seen it. The ones that take issue with you are the ones that don't ever stick around to watch what you do. Right? It's always been said, if you want to be the main event, you have to watch the main event and watch what they do. It should be everybody's goal at a certain point, is to be the main event at some point in any place that you work, right? It's no different than when you make it to AEW or WWE or TNA. Your goal should be to be the champion, the top champion. If you're not, what are you doing?
Closing a show.
Right? And
Know
you
the
and look,
difference.
not everybody does make it to the main event, but if you put in that effort with everything your knowledge you can do, you're still going to make it to a certain level in that company that's going to put you on a truck when it drives to the next town. It's going to put you on the face of their website. It's going to do things for you. Right? You can't expect a promoter to put you in a main event storyline if you have not had the patience to get there. I say this very respectfully. Any promoter can put a main title on a performer and put him in the main event. Just because they put them in the main event does not make that person the main event.
Fact.
Because all you have to do is take a look at who the previous champion was and what they are drawing, and then take a look at your current champion. And if your house is dying, you have to make a change because that means that champion is not delivering. I don't care how good of a wrestler you are. If you are not putting an ass every 6 inches in that seat, what are you doing for yourself and what are you doing for me? This is not wrestling friends. It is the wrestling business. We are an industry. The goal is for the promoter to make more money so they can now invest in the next show, invest in upgrading their show, their look, their feel, their talent. They can't do that without the right performers building to a main event that makes sense, that people are going to want to see. I could book Danny Maff against fucking Joe Schmo. If they don't know who Joe Schmo is, are they buying tickets to watch Danny Maff work that guy or Darius Carter? No. But if you take an intriguing persona and putting him against their champion that can deliver, and you're like, whoa, that's never happened before. What the fuck what could that be? And then you go and you watch it and you think that they're going to beat the champion and the champion fucks them. But they got an amazing match out of it. Now you're ready to fucking put money on the table to buy a ticket for the next show. But if you just put the belt on somebody because, it's this guy. If he ain't putting asses in seats, then the promoter can't run the next show. He can't advance the storyline if there's no profit from the previous show. If not, you become what a lot of promoters are. They're just people with expendable funds just literally trying to exhaust it to get to the next show. And then when they hit that limit that they can't financially do the next show, well, that's why the first show was in February and the next one's in October. And there's no story.
Well, talent also needs to recognize.
Sorry, that's my rant.
No,
I'm
that's
sorry.
it's a good rant.
I'm an over babyface. Hey, I'm a babyface. I'm over. You know, do you hear the pop when I come out, man? Do you see my merch line? All of this. All right, cool, man. That's valid points. Okay. But you also have to. You don't sit there and be a mark for yourself and say, "Oh, well, I'm so over." Listen to that pop. I should have the belt.
Oh my God! Here we go. That's the best.
Listen, man.
We all love that.
Sometimes,
we all love that.
You know, and it's okay.
I was
It's
about to
okay.
name drop, but I don't want to do it. But
But listen,
no,
it's okay. It's okay because Uncle Marv is here to tell you.
It's my title and I need it now.
I'm here to
JG
tell
Wentworth,
you
what the hell?
that not just because you have the belt, you're the best guy on the roster, or you need to win because your fucking sister and 3 of her friends are there.
They're in town.
4 of your cousins from high school.
My cousin's birthday next week. He's never seen me at a show before,
It'd be
but he's
great
going
if
to
I
be
could
front
go
row.
up so I could bring him in the ring to sing happy birthday.
Yeah, listen, they
Fuck
spent a
outta
lot
here
of
with
money.
that. Listen,
Like I can lose it
Sometimes-
next month. Just let me get it for a
sometimes
month.
the
I just need it now. I'll lose it right back.
sometimes the chase,
Yes.
okay, is more valuable than the outcome.
It's growth.
The chase.
Growth.
Dusty chased
Growth. Snake way. Growth.
for years. Cody chased
For 2 years?
Yep.
Okay, Barry
benefit.
Windham chased.
For
Dustin
even
Rhodes
longer.
chased.
For even longer than 2 years.
Okay.
You thought Cody and Roman was long?
The chase. The chase, man. It's all about the chase.
Develops people.
The heel. The more the babyface is chasing the heel, the more heat the heel is going to generate. That is called magic. That's how they keep coming back.
Look at your idols and look at how they came to be. Oh, I love Sting. But do you know how Sting came to be Sting? Before the face paint, before the crow, before the bat and descending from ceilings, did you know about Surfer Sting? Did you know about Sting and Ric Flair in the early 80s?
Man, how many people thought Jey Uso was going to beat Gunther? Everybody said, it's time. It's Jey Uso's time. He's hot. Strike while the iron's hot. He's hot. He's the most over guy in the WWE. You hear them yeeting? Do you see that? Guess what? He lost. They're still yeeting. They're still buying his merch.
Because they holding on for that moment, baby.
So
Let's talk about elevation.
When you talk about chase, the chase doesn't have to be the championship. The chase can be a personal issue.
The trials and tribulations.
The two guys that did it the best, at least in my teenage years, wasn't the biggest company in the world. You took a relatively unknown person named Tommy Dreamer, and you put him in a feud with Raven.
Bro, Tommy never put the title on his waist.
Yeah.
But at the same token,
Because before he put it on, somebody cashed it in on him.
Yeah,
Right.
he never even had the moment.
It was
But-
fucking
Well, he had the
incredible.
moment
It
of
was
winning, but he
brilliant.
never, yeah.
But the
Yep.
feud with Raven was the whole thing of no matter how many matches they had, Tommy could never beat Raven. And just when you thought he was going to beat him, somehow Raven fucked him over. Whether it was Stevie Richards, whether it was Meanie, whether it was Beulah, Francine, whoever it was, or he contracted somebody like fucking who's the guy that fell off the fucking scaffold? Brian Lee.
Yeah.
He
Big
got
Grimes.
involved in
Big
the
Grimes
story,
is
right?
another
Yes. So, but that was a chase. The chase wasn't about a title. The chase was about revenge and the story that was built from them as childhood friends.
Yeah, but let's break it down even further.
Yeah.
What is the chase? What are you chasing? So the chase is antagonist, protagonist. The protagonist is chasing a feeling. There's something that they need. They need vindication. They need revenge.
Yes.
They need. So let's take a championship advocate. That's the easiest thing. Championship.
course.
So let's say it's a personal vendetta. There's something that you did. I gotta chase to get that back, right? Why wait 8 months to do it? Why not pay it off the next month? Well, here's why you build it up. Because maybe there's other people involved that you can slingshot in there.
I was just gonna
Sub-stories.
go there. I was just gonna go there.
You know, look at what's going on right now. The easiest example is the Bloodline example. It's on the cover of a video game. All right, we're talking about just the man's family alone and bobbing and weaving and giving everyone an individual personality to the point where you took the Usos, who were both at one point considered the same person, and now they are both different people on different brands with their own crowd, their own chant, their
their
own
little
respect.
brother.
And
their
they're
little
developing
brother.
their own identity that people now know who Jay and who Jimmy is.
Right? Are you when you all
Look
watch
at Solo.
wrestling?
Look at what
Look at Solo's.
Look at what this
Oh.
angle's done for Solo.
Look at the
God
growth
bless
and
him.
development. Right. Look at the growth and development. The look when this man came out. We're talking about opening up Netflix, guys. Let's talk business. Let's talk about Netflix. The very first match of your new era. What did you? The first entrance.
Who was the first entrance? Was Solo Sikoa.
Solo Sikoa. Do we see what's going on here? Do we
You-
see how we can do
Yeah.
this on the independent level,
Right.
and how all you're doing is taking a basic mentality and elevating it to the next level? You take something, you could have had Roman come right back and get the Ula follow, or you create a chase. You chase something.
Yes.
You want something, and you let people wait.
And they
you
still
let
doing it.
simmer, and they're still doing it. And you
look
let
at
it simmer.
look at Jacob.
Come on.
Look
Come
at
on,
Jacob.
guys. Promoters, do we see this?
And all
Do
he's
we
doing
watch?
is talking.
Right.
Do we watch?
Look at Tama.
Well, but here's another thing.
You know what I'm saying?
you're-
Bro, that shit
Are
is
you
over.
Are you watching the product? Are you watching
They're
any
getting
product?
each other over.
Come on, promoters.
Yep.
No, the beautiful thing about
on,
Tommy Dreamer
wrestlers.
and Raven, okay, just when Tommy was gonna grab that title, I think he didn't even get to touch it. He was about to grab it. Fucking Rhino speared the fucking shit out of him and challenged him, and he fucking lost. That was fucking incredible.
And the sympathy that
chase.
came from it, yes. But you go back to the storyline with the whole Netflix piece, right? And this is where I've heard promoters on social media, workers, oh, it's the first show of the Netflix era. Why wasn't Roman and Solo Sikoa the main event? Very simple. You're going to have that new fan that has never watched wrestling. Oh, what is this wrestling stuff, right? They're going to hook your attention. The company had so much faith in Solo and Roman that they put them on first.
I bet you nobody changed the channel.
Nope. They put faith in Solo to be the first person to make that entrance. And now here's Roman. You're taking the biggest face of your company and putting them in the first piece. You know why? Because if you may have done any other match, would that made anybody else turn off the live stream? We don't know. The ratings tell the ratings tell the story, but it shows the kind of faith they have. But you have the very close-minded individuals, promoters to a certain degree, who think, why would I open my show with that match, right? Well, hey, if you're an indie show, why not do something different? Why not have that main feud be your opening contest and set the tone to take a sub-feud, put them in the main event, give them a rub, and build to that? We're not thinking long-term. We're thinking short-term and being very nearsighted. You know, there is a rhythm and a rhyme to what can be done on the indies. If you take the formula from companies that know how to do it right, you can build your own thing.
And stop saying you don't watch wrestling. Stop.
But you
Watch
do,
wrestling.
but are you watching it the right
wrestling.
way?
Right.
Yes, you can always watch it and sit back. I want to watch wrestling. You and I do. We talk about all things all the time. We talk about it as a fan, but when we watch it, we're not necessarily watching. We are to a degree.
But you
we're
are
studying
breaking
it.
it down.
We're
dissecting
studying it.
Yep.
And sometimes I don't want to watch it live because when it's on live stream, I can't rewind.
Right.
I'll wait till the next day because
I want to break it down.
I want to break it down. Why did this happen? Oh, I have two guys that could do something like this, but what if we switch it up?
Right.
Bro, that first episode on Netflix was iconic. It really was. I know we're told this is an independent show. This is an independent podcast, but
it all comes full circle.
Because we can relate it to people so that they can understand.
that was
what
like a
we're
Kiss
saying.
concert, bro.
Yeah.
They hit you
With the greatest hits.
They hit you with the greatest hit right off the bat, bro, right from the jump. And they close with a motherfucker. You know what I mean? They close with Seth and Punk. Come on, man. Come on. Let's go. You know what I mean? Like, dude, that show,
everything.
that, like...
But they didn't just leave you with the guy raising his hand and they closed the show. They showed every aspect. Rollins sitting on the ropes, dejected. Now you're back to Punk. But now you're back to Seth. Now he's dejected and he's got a scowl on his face.
Like, are we thinking that far?
Right. And now you're saying, okay, is this it or is there more? I have to tune in next week. You have to also, yes, you want to close out your shows to make fans happy. And we've talked about this before with Danny being a very heel champion and closing out shows as a heel.
It's not easy.
Regardless of it, you have to leave it
Much easier
with something
as a protagonist
or multiple
show.
things
Yes.
in a show that leaves cliffhangers, that leaves question marks, that says I have to buy the ticket to the next show because I need to see what's going to happen as a result of what happened in match 2 or match 5 or segment 3 or the main event. Something you want to leave to hook every fan, because not every fan is going to get hooked on the cliffhanger of the main event, right? They might get hooked on the cliffhanger from match number 2, and that may be the reason why they're coming. Yeah, the main event was great, but I want to see match 2. What does that evolve to? So you have to make sure that every segment on your show plays a part that leaves the fan wanting more. That is how you draw tickets to your next event for everybody to want to come for multiple different reasons. There's the reason why people come to Raw with signs for Jey Uso. There's a reason why people come with signs for Damian Priest. There's a reason why people come with signs for Cody Rhodes. They're all coming for different reasons. Don't bank on your main event in storytelling. Create those sub-stories with talents that know what they're doing and just blast it. Put it out there.
Yep.
If you
This
want,
talent can close the show one day. Match 2 can be main event one
Listen,
day.
even if you're a promoter, man, and you don't have a big baby face, make him.
Yeah.
Make your baby face. Find a heel Okay, find the heel, give him a long run. You know what I mean? And during that long run, man, make it your business. Make it your business. Make it your business.
It's tremendous
to make a baby face,
right?
So that he is ready, and don't be afraid to make that baby or for the heel. You know what I mean? To go up on that baby 2, 3, 4 times.
To build,
if
build
you got to take
character.
a year, you take a year. If you got to take longer than a year, take a year.
Sting.
Take however longer it takes, man.
Stay the course if you know what you're doing. Don't cheat. Yes, don't
Barry Windham, Dusty Rhodes.
And have patience.
Yes.
Fuck.
Thank you. Let's talk about it.
Just
and storytelling.
a patience.
Right.
Come on, man.
What we can do this. We can do this.
Yes, we can.
Unfortunately, we are in an
rocket
era,
science.
or we've slowly creeped out of the traditional mindset.
And it's all about instant gratification.
We need to get back to that.
And the problem is,
we really need to get back to
you
that.
hear people
Promoters,
saying,
I'm sorry, like we really need to get back to that. We need to get back to the fundamental, like good versus evil, patience. Find a heel you can trust. Find a baby that you want to set into your stratosphere of ticket sales. Build him. Let your heel always get his heat. Let your baby face struggle. You know, we're better than that, man. Like, we're better than that. I know, you got a lot of these guys that know everything or whatever. This is no rocket science, man. It's no rocket science. Yep. So let's get back to the fundamentals, And hey, every show has a guy that can do a 1240, 630, and a 920, flip and shit like that. And you have your car crash. You know what I mean? Yeah. You have your car crashes. And
you get hurt.
Unfortunately, that happens. We're not out here making chicken soup. We're not making orange juice. No. We're wrestling. Yep. And but let's get back to the fundamentals, promoters. Let's be better, man. Like I get it. You guys invest in your product or whatever. You invest in what you want to invest in, because every promoter thinks he's the greatest promoter on the planet, and every worker thinks he's the best worker on the planet.
Yep.
Don't think you have to completely eliminate the past to make way for the future. That's all it is. This isn't a eradicate tradition to do a new thing. Build on tradition. Evolve. All right? Again, have your own, okay, you see this ice cream? Well, maybe I like a few flavors more than others, so I'm going to showcase those flavors in the front. So if you know chocolate, vanilla, Neapolitan, whatever, but I really like mint chocolate chip, and I really like Rocky Road. Fine, put them at the front of your store, but don't forget the other ice cream flavors too, okay? Let's just understand that you still want to have a multitude of flavors. Just because you like mint chocolate the most doesn't mean mint chocolate has to be the only flavor that you offer, okay? Put that at the front of your store, also known as your promotion, but make sure there are still those flavors of ice cream, the vanilla, the chocolate, the Rocky Road, the mint chocolate chip, the brownie. Make sure that that's still there, okay?
Why don't you mention cherry?
Well, cherry too. Well, cherry berry, berry cherry, triple berry.
We got heat if you don't mention cherry.
Listen,
right?
And if we got heat, we'll have more heat than most of these promotions do these days. Come on now, let's start cooking. Let's start flipping on the pan with the oil and the butter and the cheese. And let's start cooking again.
Exactly.
Let's stop putting it on match quality. We've seen match quality in New Jersey and New York and North Carolina and Florida. I want to know why I should drive that far to go to see you there as opposed to you over here. Well, what I'm doing down there is real different than what I'm doing up here. Tell your story, tell your page, identify yourself and identify your purpose, and stop waiting for somebody to tell you what your purpose is. That's it. Point blank.
Listen, I've seen the end game when you have that long run. I've seen you put over the young baby. It's it's a moment, bro. It's special. It's fucking loud. It's incredible.
Thank you.
I've seen what happens when you have everybody in the building want to kick your ass, and you put over the baby face. I've seen what happens. I've seen what happens.
Man, we watched it with you when you've done
long
it.
Run, man. And I'm proud of it, man. I'm proud. I'm so proud of. I had, bro, the greatest run of my career, bro, at Northeast Wrestling, and I put over Trayvon Jordan. You know, it was the loudest thing I've ever heard in my career, bro. It was insane, but it was a special moment. You know, those moments are special.
Yep.
You know,
we think about them. Don't think we don't.
Dude, like I love the shit that we have with the now. You know what I mean? Yeah, we kid around with this. Oh, we wrestle you. This is our 900th time. But you know what, dude? Every time we beat them and they beat us, it means something.
And it draws interest.
Yes.
I think about Marina Shafir and the BCW Heavyweight Championship years ago. Her first singles title. She won that title. Natalia, commented on it. A bunch of WWE stars commented on it. And here's this championship that I was holding for 1,227 days. She came and she took it from me, and she is now posing with this championship. That's it. Then think about that now. Think about that. BCW had options, and it was with me because I made sure to do my part through a pandemic and all those things while we were staying active and staying on top. And then
that's a hell of a run.
Thank you.
Yep.
And then Marina Shafir to come along, and then she wins it. And here's Roderick Strong.
Shafir. She's at AEW.
She's in. Right. So now she's holding the championship with Roderick Strong, and their kid has the championship. It's in their home. She's holding the title.
Is Roddy's wife, Marina Shafir?
Yes, absolutely.
Wow.
Absolutely.
Elevated.
She's with She's in Moxley's group.
She's in
right?
Moxley's group.
Yep.
I hear it on the radio.
Death Riders. So that moment, that's her first championship. She'll never forget that.
Yep.
You know, whether she listens to this podcast or not, if you do, great. If you don't, it is what it is.
Yep.
But if you are, just realize that I'll never forget that match. I'll never forget what that did.
Yep.
And I'm glad that I'm glad that it got me up, got her up, taking the championship, and then you're in AEW.
There you go.
And these are little things like that. That the satisfaction I had from being in the ring and getting to say I was in that moment, because a lot of people can't handle maybe being in the ring with her or are scared, afraid to be in the ring with her, even though she's a consummate professional. It's little things that keep people from doing the right type of business.
That's it.
And that type of business is one of the best pieces of business that I got to do.
But Darius, this is, and we keep going back to the same shit over and over again, man. This is the beauty of what you do. Like, you know what I mean? Like, yo, all right, yeah, you get there. When you get there, you get, bro, but it's because, okay, you're like a ghost, man. You know, you get there. Nobody sees you, bro. You're not going out. You're not going to the bathroom. You're not getting a water online, outside with the fans.
Right.
You know what I mean? You get there when you get there. Nobody sees you. They don't see you until your music hits. People get pissed off because of your entrance. You're pissing people off. You are literally pissing people off, dude. And it works. Mm-hmm. And it's... Whoever hates on it, like you said, it's because they can't do it.
That's it. Yep.
You know, and the reason why people hate what you do is because
they can't do what I do.
You know, hate me if you want, man. I really don't give a shit.
They can't do what you can do.
You know what I mean?
And that's okay.
If you can do it better, then do it yourself.
Then try us. But
I bet you when we work each other, I bet you we're gonna make magic. We're gonna make beautiful fucking noise, man. We're gonna take that crowd on a ride. That's the ride they're gonna remember at the end of the night when they go home.
And the people that you may think are selfish, and the people you may think only care about themselves, are doing more to care for you than you were caring for yourself. Yep. I have cared for more professional wrestlers than they have cared for themselves.
Mm-hmm. That is very true.
Let me repeat that. I have cared for more professional wrestlers than they have cared for themselves. And I'm not the only person. I've seen it with Maff. I've seen it with Shawn, where Shawn will tell people things, and they may take it and they may not, but he told you. Mm-hmm. And he told you the right thing, and I heard him tell you the right thing. Mm. We care more about you a lot of the times than you care about yourselves.
Even the ones that don't like us.
Come on. Especially the ones that don't like us.
Don't raise that.
Hold on. But Pat Patterson's he's knocking on the pencil, so we got to get to the finish.
Pat Patterson.
Go ahead.
That was beautifully said.
I've seen
that was well said.
what you're doing with these kids at Shotgun. And I'll repeat
Shotgun
again.
seasons beatings.
And I'll repeat. I'll repeat it again. Yo, the names are, but the shows are hot, bro. Listen, there's some special shit going on in Shotgun. All right, the storylines, the characters, the character development. These kids are hungry. There's a certain fire. Okay, at these Shotgun shows, there's some special shit going on over there.
But you know why it happens? And we said it before. It starts with the top of the person putting it together, knowing how to put them in a position to shine.
Yep.
It's now up to them to deliver. It's up to them to sink or to swim. It's an avenue for them to learn.
Joe Bellini, Warriors of Wrestling.
Come
on, kids.
So
Come on, kids. Wake
let's
up.
raise a toast.
Cheers.
Promoters, let's
Cheers.
focus on storytelling. This is card subject to change. Pat Patterson's knocking the pencil against his head. We're going to take this home. Please join us next time. We are committed to getting on a regular schedule with card subject to change. Last shout out, Darius Carter's sweatsuit.
Isn't it beautiful?
Rocking
I
it.
mean, come on,
blue, baby.
Let's talk
In the
about
blue.
it. Business talks, baby.
We will see you on the next episode. Thank you.